New me is a phrase we often hear around January, although in the midst of a pandemic, every day can feel a bit like Groundhog Day, so you'd be forgiven for not thinking too hard about your New Year's resolutions in 2022. If you are, though, they do come in all forms. A push to read more, maybe more frequent calls to family, or, like our panellist, Kate Mills, a specific challenge to accomplish. She's aiming to swim 59 ocean pools found in New South Wales in January. Starting in Yamba on the far north coast, Kate and her family has been travelling down the coast, this week dropping into pools in Sydney. Along the way, they've been filming and writing about each destination. Their adventure finishes up at Eden on the south coast later this month. So, Kate, why do this and why now?
Why do this and why now? Well, so you're talking about New Year's resolutions. So one of my resolutions this year was to bring things forward. You know, you've always got these plans out there. You know, you're going to do things in 2 or 3 years' time. So I always wanted to do this swimming trek, but I was going to do it at some point in the future. And I think what COVID has taught all of us is just bring it forward, do it now, because who knows what's going to happen. So that's why I wanted to do it now. And the reason why I wanted to do it, so New South Wales has the largest collection of ocean pools in the world. And I don't think a lot of people in New South Wales actually know that. There's a few others in Australia, there's a few others around the world. And look, they're absolute jewels along the coast. They really are. I really wanted to do this so we could set it up as a bit of a swimming trail, essentially, and people could kind of say, get out of Sydney, head all the way up to Yamba and see how many of those beautiful jewels they could swim in as they came down the coast. And it's also to bring people's attention to them, because in the past there's been more pools. There's been over 100 pools at different times in the New South Wales coast, but a lot of them fall into disrepair because they're expensive to maintain, they're in remote areas and people don't go there. So I just wanted to shine a light on a fantastic part of New South Wales.
I know there's some debate about what constitutes an ocean pool, so you've got your own kind of definitions here. So they're not in the harbour, they've been augmented by the human hand, so they're not a natural rock pool.
Yeah.
And they're functional and intact, because there are lots of others that sort of fall outside those categories for you, right?
Yeah, that's right. Look, it's very controversial in the swimming world, what makes an ocean pool and what doesn't make an ocean pool. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Look, you had to be able to swim in it, so there's lots of remnants of pools up and down the coast. It couldn't be a fully natural pool, just natural, because there's lots of natural pools and it's difficult to know where they begin and end. So yes, so that's how I came up with the list of 59.
There's some really interesting historical value with these pools as well, isn't there? Who they were built by, when they were built, what it said about Australia at the time.
Oh, look, there's amazing history. So first of all, a lot of these pools are built on what I'd call millennial-old swimming pools. They've been used by swimming pools for Aboriginal people for as long as they've been there. Then you've got the first settlers and convicts coming and sort of deciding they're going to take this natural pool and they're going to make it into something else. I would highlight that all the pools are brilliant, but the Bogey Hole in Newcastle is renowned for that. It's a really beautiful hole. It's a beautiful swimming hole. It's the oldest swimming pool in Australia. It was built out by the convicts, essentially, for the commandant. And then there's also, during the wars, a real push in terms of getting people to work, in terms of public infrastructure. So, again, a lot of the other pools that are down the coast came through that period of men coming back from the war, going out into the regions, and councils coming up with some work for them.
Graham, you've got a bit of your own exercise kick. How's that going?
Oh, well, Jeremy, I've been on it for about 5 days. I decided I needed to do more exercise than I have been doing over the last year or two. You know, we've spent a lot of pandemic time on the couch. You really have to make these things a habit if you're going to get them in place. I've got 5 days up now, so I think I have to do 21 days before I make it a habit. I think that's about where the line's drawn. Can I just say congratulations, Kate? Well done, and I'm glad you clarified the definition, because I was going to say I know a pool in Tweed Heads where you should have started a little bit further north, but it is outside your definition.
I told you it was contentious.
It is. Brad Mackay.